stepping on the same pitch Gary Lineker played on, Peter Beardsley, Stuart Pearce. Until 2006, a local team played here, Aylesbury United. Now, this ground has become more famous for the fact that it's abandoned, absolutely left untouched, besides bird poo and vandals, graffiti. There have been many videos on this ground on YouTube, so I thought today I'd explore the ground in which England, Sir Bobby Robson's England, ahead of Euro 88, at where they played in a warm-up match versus the team I just mentioned, Aylesbury United. England won that game 7-0. Nice little preparation match for the Euros. So I thought it made sense in what today is going to be a warm-up game for England in 2024 versus Brazil. I thought it would be fitting to go back down memory lane a bit, considering England have the Euros this summer. It literally is a hazard wherever you step. But I did meet a couple of locals who live in the housing estate behind this ground, and they are surveilling the ground because you do get a lot of drug users and people, as you can see, that just want to cause trouble and play up. We're not trying to do that here on Rise Football Paradise. We're here celebrating English football history. Well, not just English football history, world football, because we are going to go overseas very soon. So let's check out the abandoned stadium that England once played at. Let's go and have a look. So forgive me if I don't know any vital information. This is very much a spur of the moment video, guys, because I'm on my way to Luton to tick our final Premier League destination off. Remember, this season we're visiting all 20 Premier League stadiums, and in a moment, or in a couple of hours, Kenilworth Road will be ticked off the list. But I was passing through Aylesbury and I thought, Buckingham Road Stadium? I was literally passing here. I saw the floodlights in the distance, so it would be incredibly rude of me not to politely make my way onto this pitch. So I said I just spoke to a couple of locals who lived behind that stand over there. There's a housing estate. We'll show you that in a moment where I've parked. But they were fine with me wandering around. They just like to keep the riffraff away. I suppose I do fall under that bracket somewhat. Apparently, plans for houses seem to be somewhat put on hold. The ground has been left abandoned because planning permission hasn't been granted for what a developer deems suitable for lots of 2 to 3 bedroom houses. Now, this pitch gets very moggy, is that even a word? Swamped, damp, because you've got the river, I believe, that passes nearby. It gets waterlogged, and apparently it got waterlogged regularly when Aylesbury United played here. So it is a bit of a problem with regards to putting houses on here, hence why nothing's happened since 2006. So what we're going to do, we're going to get some close-up shots of that main stand behind me. If you are an Aylesbury United fan and you know the name of that stand, is it on the... I was thinking, is it on the stand? No, we've still got the advertising boards, but no names of stands. So let's check this one out first, and then we'll finish up over there opposite. One thing you probably don't know about me is that I have a massive fear of birds, especially pigeons. So this really isn't the place to come because it's become home to seemingly loads of pigeons. But when we speak about vandals, you can see behind me lots of seats missing, and it looks as though they've been set on fire possibly. I could be wrong. Let's just wander down there, shall we? It's crazy because 2006 doesn't seem that long ago, but it's actually 18 years ago. So there's me somewhat shocked as to how overgrown the stands are. But 18 years of being somewhat, or just being left, is obviously going to result in this. It's not really shocking, is it, when you come to think of it? Right. I can hear birds. Look at that wooden building on the stand. That's got to be some sort of pigeon home. I try not to break my legs. Ugh. Stepping on to what was the pitch. The same pitch, as a reminder, Gary Lineker played on. Peter Beardsley, Stuart Pearce, some legends of English football played on this pitch. You've seen on screen some pictures of the England team lined up with that cheeky little stand in the distance. It's incredible. You just wouldn't get that nowadays. Just imagine, as I said, as I'm filming this, England are playing Brazil tonight. Just imagine England invited Brazil to play at, I don't know, my hometown ground of Edgar Street in Hereford, or even like a League One or League Two team. It just wouldn't happen today, would it? But obviously the 80s were a different time. Apparently planning was submitted in 2020 for 42 new homes, and according to the article I've just read in preparation of this spur of the moment trip here, they're still pondering on a decision. But the vibe I got from the locals, although they were friendly, they don't want loads of new houses here. But with that said, they're surveilling themselves. They're kind of acting as security for this place because it's attracting the wrong kinds of people like us on YouTube. Let's go and check out this ground, this stand. This looks probably the least interesting because the one we passed through on the way in is completely overgrown. Let's go and check this one out over here. So fans of Aylesbury United would have been stood on these terraces back in that game. We're going to keep mentioning that game because that's probably the only game of major notoriety that took place here. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you're local and support Aylesbury United. Have there been other significant moments other than England playing here, or other than the eviction in 2006? Just as a reminder, Gary Lineker had just finished his second season with Barcelona before playing here. We mentioned Peter Beardsley, but obviously you've got John Barnes. Both of those were in an incredibly successful 80s Liverpool team. Chrissy Waddle played here with his fantastic hairdo. So obviously forgive me because I'm not from round here, but that river I mentioned is actually the River Thames. Christ, the Thames is long, isn't it? Obviously Craven Cottage backs onto the Thames. Lots of famous football grounds, more famous than this, and nearby the River Thames. But locals are concerned of that planning application with the new houses, that the drainage from those new houses might be a problem. We mentioned the drainage problem on the pitch, but it's not an ideal location apparently to build houses on. It is an absolutely beautiful day, by the way, guys. Summer is on its way, but let's make our way to the boring end. I'm not sure if this pile of rubble, pile of concrete blocks may have been a former stand. Again, let us know in the comments, but we'll check it out anyway. You can see in the distance those houses in the distance behind the trees. And I'm guessing, guys, over here is where that River Thames possibly is. Looks to be a river. I'm not going to get too close to it, but I think, yeah, some water runs behind those trees. So I just had a little look just to get more of an insight to this place. Now, England played here in June of 1988. For me, that seems really close to when even was Euro 88? I presumed that tournament began in June. Maybe it didn't. The risk of such players like Gary Lineker getting injured at this place just wasn't even a factor back then in the 80s. But now, can you imagine Harry Kane coming here? Wouldn't happen at all, would it? But those England players, so Bobby Robson, the manager, would have been getting changed behind me in that building over there. Now, Aylesbury United, now ground share apparently outside the town. For like 2 decades they've been left without a ground of their own because they can't afford to come back here, despite coming close on occasion. Now apparently 6,000 people, 6,000 fans attended the match in 88, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you've seen the ground. Those stands wouldn't hold that many people, and then you're going to have people stood around the edge of the pitch. So 6,000 at a ground this size is pretty decent. To put that in perspective, Cheltenham Town, I think the capacity at Waddle Road is like 7,000, 7,500, something like that. And it's a lot more built up and developed compared to this place. So then, ladies and gents, let's finish up with that final stand over there, as it's our way in and way out. And if you are new to the channel, I'm not sure if I've got the video up yet. If it is up, check out the Luton Town Kenilworth Road one. And I'm also, after this, before Kenilworth Road, I'm going to take a look at where Luton are moving to. Luton have had similar, well, not planning disputes. Luton have been granted planning permission as well, but they've not started their new stadium quite yet. Anyway, look at this. There we go then, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out my other somewhat abandoned stadiums. We've also been to Griffin Park, or what's left of it. We couldn't actually get as close as we did today. We've been to sites of where Upton Park was, the Bowling Ground, West Ham's. We've been to many former football grounds, Highfield Road, the Dell. So check out those videos on the channel. Make sure you like the video, and I will see you in one of these videos next to me right now. I'll see you there.